Good morning, happy Tuesday. I am starting up my vlogs again. Hopefully you guys will enjoy them. These are just strictly going to be reading vlogs of what I'm reading this week, giving you my thoughts on them as I go. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So the first book that I'm going to talk about, this is The Complete Cheese Sweet Home Part 1 by Kanata. This is going to be one of the books that I leave at work. I'm going to take it with me and read it at work. I have been working on it steadily over the last month or so. It is a graphic novel, so it is going fairly well. It's all about the adventures of this kitten called Chi. So I am enjoying it. All the antics I can see in a lot of my own personal kitty cats. So I've been enjoying this one. I am on starting the new chapter, so page 253. I think this is 3 volumes bound up in this one. So I'm probably in either part 2 or going into part 3. I'm not exactly sure because it really doesn't break it down that way. But other than that, I'm really enjoying reading about the antics of this kitten. So that is one I will be leaving at work. So most likely you won't see it until I bring it home on the weekend. But do know that I am working on it when and if I get time at work, because it's hit or miss when I get to read. If I'm finding out I'm not reading so much because we're in the last 3 weeks of this 9 weeks, then I'll just bring it home and I'll read it here. So that is kind of more of a mood read. When I'm interested and I want to pick it up, that's when I pick that book up. This book, this is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. This was my pet pick for December, so I'm slightly getting a head start on it. Today is, I think, the 30th or 31st, I can't remember my days of the month anymore. Yesterday was a massive migraine day, so yeah, I was out of work. But today is Tuesday, if I didn't tell you guys that in my crazy mind frame. But anyways, I have this marked up, I think, starting today. So like I said, a day in advance. I'm getting started. I have it tabbed out. I should be done with this hopefully by Sunday. So yeah, I'm excited to get into it. I started reading the first page of it this morning and it was already grabbing my attention. So hopefully, I think I have it set up for every 8 chapters a day to be able to finish it out by this Sunday towards the evening. And then another mood read that I have picked up because I'm getting into, I want to read more romance. This is one of the books, I think it was the September, October box. I can't remember. I know I've gotten behind on filming these unboxings. It's just been a rough few months. But this is Declan Part 1 by Stephanie St. Clair. Again, I have it tapped out. I should have this one done, I believe, by this Saturday. I'm really enjoying it. I'm already 40 pages into it, and I started it, I think, Sunday. Again, I just mood reading right now until December really picks up. The first book out of December was The Sky in the Deep, so I'm getting started, like I said, a day early on it this evening. So yeah, so this is the next book. I'm really enjoying it. This is following Lydia, and his name is Jason. He is an undercover person who goes in. I'm not sure if he's a cop. He says he's part of an agency that's not known, so kind of a secret homeland security type is what I'm kind of gathering. She is a wealthy socialite who doesn't want for anything. She's a trust fund baby, basically. She lives off that. She married into another wealthy family, and some really bad things went down. She's on the run now with Jason, putting her infant son and her sister into protective custody so she can be the witness and testify to put her husband away for the bad things that he's involved in. None of that is really a spoiler. It pretty much states that on the back in the synopsis. But it's really, really interesting. I can't wait to dive in. It's a fairly short read. I think it's only like 222 pages. So I should be able to knock it out as long as I get time and I have the energy to read and my migraines kind of stay away for that. So yeah, so I hope you guys are going to enjoy these reading vlogs. I will I'll vlog more tonight when I get in and let you know if I was able to read any of the graphic novel. So I look forward to updating you guys again later when I have more info to share with you. Well, good evening everyone. It's Tuesday evening and I did get quite a bit read out of The Complete Cheese Sweet Home Part 1 by Konami, Kanata. I read probably close to 100 pages. I am currently left off on page 357. I think I was at like 253. Thereabouts, but there's not a ton of writing on them, so it goes really fast. The expressions get me, and I started dying laughing with my students because I was reading while they were silently reading. I was reading out of this while they were doing that in each of my classes. See if I can find that one picture that they ended up. I don't know if you can see it, but this was right here. This face, they were trying to take a picture of him, and if you have had cats or you've had cats or you know someone who tries to film cats, they are notoriously, when you're just about to click the picture to take the picture, they do something, they walk off, they turn and look away. And that last picture was hysterical. The wife had a puppet and it scared the cat, so it ended up with this really freaked out picture of them. It was absolutely hysterical. So the kids are like dying laughing. It's like, I want to read it. It's like, I wish there was an AR test on this book because I wanted to put this on my bookshelf, but there is not. So Renaissance, if you come across this, please put this on there because my kids are watching me having a blast reading this book. Today was the first day I took it, but yeah, they thought it was hysterical and they wanted to know what I was reading, why I was laughing. It was great. So that is my update. Hopefully I can get more read later in this week and finish off. Again, this is a mood read. I started it earlier in November and I've gotten the mood to want to pick it up again. And it's all about the story of Chi living with this family that is not supposed to have a cat in their apartment, and they had found this kitten wandering alone by itself and they picked it up. So it's all about that, learning how to be cat parents and with their own little boy as well, how to treat a cat and all of that. It's hysterical. But I'm loving it. I'm loving my experience reading it. I would definitely pick up the other ones. I think I already have the other set. So yeah, I really wanted to put this on my shelves for my kids. And I may put it on so it's not an AR test, but if you want to read it for fun, you're welcome to do that. Alright, so the next book that I do want to get some read in tonight is The Sky in the Deep. I have not read any of it yet other than a little bit from this morning, so I'm going to spend some time with it tonight, and I will definitely do another update before I go to bed tonight to let you know my thoughts so far. The very first page was drawing the end of the first paragraph, so that is a great sign. So we'll see what my thoughts are as I continue reading it. And then the last book, if I can get read then I want to pick up, this is The Crown of Midnight. I do not have the dust jacket on because I'm reading it. This is a buddy read. We are reading one book per month. We started last month with The Throne of Glass. We're continuing the series this month with The Crown of Midnight. So this is a reread for me. I've already read the first 3 chapters, so I'm slightly ahead because we're not supposed to start until December. But I was so anxious to get into it, so if I don't get into it tonight, I'm not going to be heartbroken. I'm already a day or so ahead by my tab-wise, so if I don't get to it tonight, that's okay. But anyways, I hope you guys have had a great day, and I can't wait to dive into some of the Sky in the Deep and see my thoughts on it, and I'll update you later. Well, good morning everyone. Happy Wednesday. I did not get to do an update last night. I did get a little bit read out of Sky in the Deep. I got to about page 18, which is in chapter 3. As I was reading it, I got very, very, very exhausted, but typically that happens at the end of my workday after teaching all day. I did enjoy what I read. Like I said, the very first page, it drops you right into this battle between these two different clans. One is the Aska, I believe, and one is the Riki or Rikai. Two different warring clans, and she discovers a brother whom she thought was dead fighting for their enemy clan. So she tries to tell her father this, and he says, no, 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 this is just his spirit. He was guarding you, etc. So that's going to be an interesting development to the story. I cannot wait, like I said, to continue reading it. So I have about 4.5 chapters to get to the 8 total chapters read this evening. I'm going to try to take it to work, read and see if I can make my goal on it, or at least get closer to it at work, and then finish it off this evening. The next book that I would like to take to work as well, so once I get some read out of one, then I want to focus on this one as well. I didn't read any of it last night, so she's going to be fun. So I'm a little bit behind, so I'm a day behind if I want to have this done by Saturday, but again, this is a mood read, so it doesn't have to be done by Saturday, but I would like to try to keep things on track. So yeah, so not much more to report on this one, but I do want to take it to work and see what I can get read there. Again, if time allows, I can't always promise that I'm going to have that. And then I'm also taking Chi with me as well to work, so if I at least make my goal on my first TBR book, which is Sky in the Deep, then I will focus more of my attention on my other two mood reads, pleasure reads, those types of things. They're all pleasure reads, but that are not the books that are not on the actual physical TBR that I need to get read. So yep, so that's kind of my update. Like I said, I didn't get to do it last night because I was just exhausted, and I woke up, had a bright red mark on my face where I had been just zonked out. But anyways, I hope you guys are going to have a fantastic day, and until my next check-in, you guys have a good one. Well, good morning everyone. Happy Thursday. As you can tell, I did not do a update on Wednesday night. Again, this week is killing me. I'm so exhausted. I came in, fed the animals, took care of them, ate dinner, played around, I think on YouTube, watched a couple of videos, and then I was out cold. So didn't do an update last night, and I won't be able to do one tonight because I have game duty tonight. It's a basketball game duty. It's my last one of the year. Thank the Lord. So I won't have one for you guys tonight either. But I will always update you the following morning as long as time allows for it. All right. I did start my second TBR book, which was a translated work. It was Dante's Inferno, Volume 1. I listened to the first canto because I thought it would be easier that way. I had no clue what was going on. I don't know if it's because of the style of writing. It's in poetry form. I was just not jiving with it, and I know I was looking at it trying to read it in the book form, physical form, and I wasn't getting anything from it that way either. So for both formats, just not, I think it's the older style writing, it's just not clicking for me. I know it's a classic, but I don't think it's for me, at least not this time in my life, so I am DNFing that book. Kind of sad. But I did give it a try. I gave it through the first canto. I think there was 5 or 7 cantos, so I did give it a try. I didn't just nix it off of one reading of it. I tried it, like I said, in different formats, and it's just not for me. So the second book that I was continuing on is Sky in the Deep. I did make my goal of getting to chapter 8. I haven't updated it in the book, so let me go on and do that now. I'll start chapter 9 today. So I got to page 55 was the end of chapter 8 out of Sky in the Deep. So I started reading it via audio as well. Made this into my audiobook. I think this book is based like in Norway or the Norse people. So it talks about fjords and things of that nature because they were using such different language when they speak. There is a saying that they say, honor before, or death, honor before life, I think is the phrase that they use, but they say it in, I'm thinking it's supposed to be like the Norse tongue. I can't read it, so I felt like I was kind of losing out on it when they start speaking in their native language. So I decided to see if it was on script. It was, so I'm listening to it that way. And it just brings an extra level of enrichment to it when you can hear how these words are actually supposed to be said. So that was also awesome. Asuka was the way to pronounce her tribe's name. And I did have that right in my head. It was Elin, so I did get that correct, which is our main character. And we're following her journey. And the opposing clan, I thought it was either Riki or Rikai, but it's actually Riki. So it's like the E sound instead. So finding that out, learning that was what I have enjoyed with audio books, that it gives professionals who know how to read in different languages, brings an extra element to it. So I am enjoying it. I am not sure if I like her brother or not. They seem to be really tight when they were younger because they're about 1.5 years apart in age. But now in their interactions, he's very brusque. You see glimpses of how he used to be. So I'm not sure how I like him. Fisk is a very interesting character as well. Don't have a lot of information on him yet, but he doesn't hesitate to harm her. So that in and of itself makes me wonder. So I'm thinking this may be kind of like the enemies to lovers type of romance. If there is a romance in here, I think there might be. So I have to update you on that once I figure that out. But if there is going to be enemies to lovers, it's definitely going to be between Fisk and Elin. So we'll see. I'll update you as I learn about that. I read a couple more pages earlier this morning while I was attempting to do some editing on this vlog from earlier episodes. My computer is being very, very slow. I don't know how I feel about Lydia. She is spoiled, and I know she comes from money, but she also seems, right now from what has been revealed to the reader, she seems very whiny, and I'm not so keen into those type characters. So he has revealed a little bit of insight from his past, that she's not just this vapid, selfish person, but I haven't seen that in her actions. So we shall see how I feel about her as we go through the book. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that. And I have not picked up yet Chi again, so no progress made on this one. So we'll see if I get time today, whether I can pick up any of these books. It's going to be a very busy day. It's our media center day, so I'm taking my classes back and forth to the library, back to the classroom every period. So it's going to be a very tiring day, very long day, and then wrapping it up with my game duty tonight. So it's going to be fun, but yeah, so we'll see how much grading I get done and how much time after that I have to spend in my books. But anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic Thursday. And until my next update, you guys have a great one. Well, good morning. Happy Friday. Oh my gosh, we made it. I'm so excited it's Friday. We'll be even more excited when it's time for a break again, but we made it through this week. Yeah, so I had that awful headache to start the week off with, and it lasted for about 3 days, but we made it. I made it through my game. They did awesome. 7th grade girls won their game. 8th grade girls, when I left, they weren't doing so hot. So it's kind of topsy-turvy from the last one, but I'm still super, super proud of that. Yeah, so I'm ready to get this day over with. I'm still got kind of a headache in the background. It's right here right now. Yeah, so it's kind of hanging out, but we're hoping it's not going to get worse like it was on Monday. I do have a neurologist appointment this upcoming Friday, so I'll have that day off. So I should definitely be able to get a lot of reading done on those days, as long as I don't have a massive migraine for all of that. Anywho, so kind of a life update where I'm at currently. So yeah, let's dive into the books. I did make some more progress. On my way to work, got to about middle to almost the end of chapter 11. Ooh. There was a very risque scene that took place. They are putting her in a slave collar, and like the tribe is trying to be sneaky and get rid of her, so that was interesting. But Fisk ended up saving her. Still don't know if that was his doing on his own gumption, his own desire, or was he just following through with Iris wanting her to stay with the tribe. So yeah, it's very interesting. So we are still developing the story, the plot, learning more about each of the tribes, and her desire to be free. She's still battling, does she possibly commit suicide, and whether her God will accept her if she did that, or does she want to try to wait until spring or when it's warmer, because right now they're in the middle or going into winter, heavy into winter, and does she want to wait and try to earn her honor back within her own tribe. So that's kind of where she's wrestling with that decision. So that is where we're currently at. I should definitely get more read on my way to work for this book. I have made a little bit more progress, not a ton. I was able to read a few pages at work, but not a lot, and I read a little bit more this morning on Declan, part 1. Kind of enjoying her slightly more. She is still very traumatized with everything that's going on, so I can understand her a little bit. Just her freaking out over eating just a typical burger and fries because she's had a spaz attack because she's a vegan. But again, I think it's more so having to leave her son, knowing that she married a murderer, and all of that was just kind of her outlet to deflect her real emotions. So we'll see how she continues to develop and if I continue to enjoy her more and more as the story progresses. And then Declan is just very much, I know his undercover name was Jason, but his real name is Declan. I have learned that, which is why the book is called Declan. Anyways, trying to get my thoughts together today is interesting. So he is, this very reserved, brusque type of person. He is an undercover agent. Still don't know for what agency. Excuse me. For what agency, but yeah, he's like this tough guy, doesn't like a crying woman. He doesn't know how to handle those types of emotions. So right now she's very vulnerable. She's very emotional. Yes, my cats have come running through. Nix is probably behind me, and Romeo is on the other side over there. Fun times this morning. So yes, but enjoying it. I know this evening and definitely over the weekend I will most likely finish this. Possibly. Just saying. Again, no more progress has been made on this. Like I said, I read more out of Declan yesterday. I may try to pick this up. I'm not exactly sure when and what part of the day. If not, I'll definitely pick it up on the weekend for sure. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up. Oh, before I wrap up, I think I told you in yesterday's episode that I had DNF'd my translated book, Dante's Inferno, Volume 1. I did pick up the book Jumper. It was a recommendation off of my deck of TBR where I got selected that prompt. Someone had commented in the comments. I'll leave her name and her channel, I think, down below, what she had read as a translated work, and I'm actually really enjoying it, and I'll put a picture up on the screen of that. I don't remember the author's name, and I know I can't pronounce it because I believe it is German, and I know I will butcher that particular name. So I did replace my translated work, so I will count it once I finish that book as this TBR being successful, because I did swap it out for that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm looking forward It's going to be a very busy day at work because my students have a lot of things they need to wrap up today. They have a quiz today and all of that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting home. I know I'll eat dinner and I know I'm going to take a nap because I am tired. So tired. If you can't see the bags under my eyes, they are very, very big today. I was noticing that yet in yesterday's vlog as well. My eyes are very puffy underneath. So all of that. So definitely very, very tired. But it's been overall a good week. It's been just a very, very hectic, busy week outside of the migraine stuff. But anywho, I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday, and until I check in with you again, either later tonight or Saturday to wrap this one up, and then I will check back with you then. All right, you guys, see you then. Well, good evening, everyone. Happy Saturday evening. It has been a very productive day. So I started today off, Saturday morning off. I took a large bag. It's probably 20 plus books. Most, I think all but one, they're hardback books of things that I'm no longer interested in reading, to open up space on the shelves for the books that I do want to keep. At least they're, I would say, books I really love and can see myself rereading. So for, if you want a star rating, 4 or 5 star rating books is what I want to keep on my shelf. Preferably mostly 5, but I will keep those that I like that I know eventually I'm going to reread. But I don't want to clutter my shelves with, 3 star, 2 star type books if I know I'm not going to go back and read it. They're just going to take up space on my shelf. So I will put a picture up on the screen of what the little library looked like after I put all my books in. There were a few books in there, and I kind of rearranged as I went to make sure I could get all the books in, and made the most use out of the space that was available. So it felt so good to pass on books to those who are going to actually read them, and like I said, they're not just cluttering up on my shelves. So after I did that, then I ran and got breakfast at our local store, local food chain called Martin's. It has the best chicken biscuits ever. So when I get to treat myself for that, it's usually on the weekend if I'm out and about. So I was, it felt good to, like I said, pass on those books. And then I came back, and it's been pretty much a reading day. I've kind of been listening in the background to the Harry Potter movies. They apparently had a movie-thon going on that were playing all of the Harry Potter movies. So I had that kind of on in the background. I've watched YouTube, BookTube creators. I've subscribed to several new channels. A lot of the videos I watched had a few different games, TBR games, and a lot of kind of organization, bookshelf organization style videos as well. So I'm stumbling across new booktubers. That way I know they're not new. They have most of them have very large channels, but they're newer to me. So that's kind of what I did, and then I got some reading done. So as I was going out and about, I believe I stopped, last update that I gave you guys was Friday morning. And I think I was on, in Sky in the Deep, I was on around chapter 17. And now I'm at, left off on chapter 19. So I am 132 pages in, not quite the halfway point. So most of my focus will be on this book tomorrow. I also have a speaker that I can use a Bluetooth connector to. So I can actually listen and read along with it, still to get that immersion and that extra element of hearing their language spoken as well. So I am enjoying it. I still haven't figured out all of the relationships yet and how all of that's going to transpire. So I cannot wait again to just continue on and learning more about Aline, about Fis, about the 2 warring tribes from these 2 different gods, Thora and Sigurd, I believe is how you say their 2 gods' names. They're conflicting gods, which is why there are 2 clans. There are 2 people, the Aska and the Riki, are in constant battle every 5 years. So cannot wait to see how that's going to develop and see where it takes us. All right, the first book that I finished, and this was really late last night, or I should say basically this morning, because I slept about 3 hours Friday evening when I got off of work. I woke up about 8:30. And I stayed up to midnight and I finished out this book. So good. I love all the antics, seeing the world through a cat's eyes as the, giving, you know, when you think, or what is my animal really saying when they're barking, when they're growling, when they're purring, when they're making all these different sounds. So this book kind of takes that perspective and actually gives you their thoughts to go along with their expressions and the sounds that they make. So I have really enjoyed my time with Kanata's Cheese Sweet Home. I can't wait to dive into the other 3 volumes and see where the story goes, because it ended in a very almost bittersweet, I would say a bittersweet ending in one respect. It almost made me cry towards the end when something was about to happen. Thought it did happen, and then there was a twist on that, and then how it ended was kind of a relief, but then want to know where the story goes from there. So I don't want to ruin it if you've not read it. Again, this is my first time going into graphic novels and manga really this year, but I would recommend it. If you're getting into it and you like cats, this would be, I think, a good starting place. It still reads traditional left to right versus most mangas are right to left. So this would definitely get you in it if you're not used to reading reading pains and things, getting the flow, and then all you have to do would be reverse it with the actual mangas. So yes, I really, really enjoyed this. Can't wait to, like I said, dive into the rest of them. And the last book that I managed to finish this week, this was Declan, and by Stephanie St. Clair again. I finally finished it out today. This was one of my main physical reads here at the house. Still never really connected to these 2 characters, Lydia and Declan. Again, they kind of had that high school angsty feel to it where they're constantly in battle, but it's over small things. I know there were some large things, but it just felt like that juvenile disagreements, and then they would come back together, and then it would happen again. They get back together. This constant rotation of that same theme kind of got a little bit old for me. And they're at least in their late 20s, mid 30s, somewhere around in that age bracket. So it was kind of odd seeing that kind of angstiness in 2 adults. I will not be picking up the second book to this. I don't know if it's going to be a duology or a full-blown series, but I'm not interested enough in the characters to continue on with it. I was intrigued by the storyline itself outside of the 2 characters, but I just don't feel like I would reread this at any point in time. So I'm going to pass it on to someone else who can enjoy it, and they may want to go on and read the second book as well. But for me, it was fine. It wasn't, the best book I've ever read, but that is kind of where I'm leaving off at. I'm not sad that I read it, but again, it's not the best one I've ever read. Alright, the next book off of my deck of TBR that I will pick up this week, this will be Widow's Web. I think this is either book 7 or 8 out of the Elemental Assassins book. This is by Jennifer Estep. I love this series. I think it's a series of like 19 books, so it's going to be towards the end of next year before I finish it. So I usually read one about every month or every couple of months. I'll pick up one because I don't want to get in. I've noticed in some writers you get into a pattern that you can start almost formulaic of seeing how it goes. So I don't want to ruin the series by reading too many of them back to back, especially because it's such a long series. I want to enjoy and savor them. I'm in no rush to finish them, but I love Jen. She's such a character. So again, if you don't know anything about them, I've had several different videos where I've talked about it. But she is an elemental. She can use elemental magic. Her 2 magics, which is very rare, is stone as well as ice, I believe, is her 2 elements. Most people can only wield one if they can wield it at all and be powerful in that, and she is powerful in both. So I cannot wait to see what new problem creeps up and what she has to tackle in this book. Then I will be continuing on again with Joe Abercrombie's The Blade itself. When I picked this book up, I really enjoyed my time in it, but when I put it down, I don't feel this urge to want to pick it back up. So I don't know if it's just a mood read that I need to pick it up in a certain mood or not. I don't know, but like I said, when I pick it up, I enjoy it. Overall, I'm enjoying my experience. I really want the plot to start picking up a little bit. Maybe it's the pacing that I'm having an issue with. I'm not exactly sure yet, because it started off really well. It grabbed my attention, and then the pace just kind of fell away. I think that may be my issue with it right now. So we'll continue on. Like I said, I have until the end of the month to finish this bad boy. So hopefully I will do it this month. All right. And then again, as a mood read, I have already started this a little bit this last week or so. This is a nonfiction about this family who has experienced a haunting of some sort. It is called The Demon of Brownsville Road. This is by Bob Cranmer and Erica Manfred. It also has some photos included throughout the book, but again, it's dealing with a haunting of some sort, terrorizing by a demon in their house that they end up purchasing and that type of thing. That's about all I know. So I cannot wait to dive in and read further. I'm only about 26 or so pages in. It's giving some background information from his childhood, some little bit of insights to the present, but haven't really got into the meat of the story yet. So I cannot wait to continue reading on that. Again, that is a mood read. It's not a high priority book. Those would be, of course, this one I would like to get more read out of, and then really dive heavy into this book. And I will definitely be making progress on my deck of TBR books. So yes, well, this pretty much wraps up this vlog. Leave me comments down below. What are some other things that you would enjoy seeing? I do not have a true vlogging camera that has the little flip up thing, so I can't move around like a lot of people do, because I wouldn't have no idea if I'm in frame and you maybe only be seeing the top of my head. So I do use my tripod. I just put it up in the living room. This is where I'm at, versus down in my office / library room where I have my bookcases. But anyways, I hope you have enjoyed your time with me as I have gone through these books. And until my next time with you guys, I hope you have a great one, and happy reading as always. Bye, my bookish friends.